Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome if you are new here. As you can read in the title of this video, today we are going to be talking about my breast augmentation experience, or should I say breast revision surgery experience. Why is it a revision? We're going to be talking about that as well. Okay, so I had my surgery done last July 2023. That was 10 months ago as of the day that I'm recording this video. And I had it done at Silicone Clinic or Silicone Clinic. They are in Bangkok, Thailand. I would say I have made the right decision going there because my experience with Silicone was just really amazing. The doctor is great. The people attending you, the nurses and everybody, they're just really very friendly and they are able to really comfort me during that difficult time that I'm going through. So this might be a long video, but I will try my best to briefly summarize my experience and share some information about the procedure that I had done. So ano nga ba yung procedure na pinagawa ko? Well, first of all, it took me a while to find a clinic that would really do the procedure na gusto kong mangyari, which is a removal of injected substance sa breast ko and then sa face ko. So ano nga ba yung in-inject? Honestly, up until now, I am not really sure what was injected before kasi even the doctor who did the procedure was not even sure what was the substance, of course. Hindi naman pina-check. But according to her, it was not medical grade substance that was injected. So I had that removed kasi nga, first of all, I don't really know what was injected in the first place. It was back in 2010 when I had my first session. So to my friends out there who have done the same procedure, they know what I actually mean. So I had breast fillers. So it was injected sa breast ko and then the same substance is injected sa face ko then. And it was done on multiple occasions. So parang it's done per sessions. So I had a few sessions before ko na-achieve yung cup size na gusto ko. And then a few sessions sa face ko then to have a fuller look. So long story short, it was a while ago when I had those injections. Pero as the years go by, kasi that time sabi nila what was being injected was collagen. It's very well known at that time, or even up until now, I can still see a few people doing it. They said it's a collagen injection. But upon further research or upon checking, if it's collagen injection, eventually after a few years, it should dissolve. Your body can absorb that. But that never happened. Some of my friends who has done the same procedure, they still have what was injected to them to this day. Actually, it was a very risky thing to do, but I was young and naive at the time. I just want a quick fix. So I went to someone who is doing this procedure. And of course, it's not that expensive because after all, it's really not a medical grade substance that they're injecting. So I'm just going to call it liquid silicone. But honestly, liquid silicone, somehow there are medical grades that are being used. But what was injected to me was probably not liquid silicone at all. So it took me a while to find the clinic or the doctor that will do this procedure because I have been searching and I have been seeing a few doctors, a few plastic surgeons, but then some of them, probably it's not their field of expertise kasi nga, it's a revision surgery. They advised me na it's better to leave it as is. Pero I was really adamant to have it removed kasi nga, I really think, though I don't really see something major happening other than my face na parang it looked deformed kasi parang meron siyang lump sa left face ko at that time. My face is not really symmetrical. It's not balanced, but I'm okay with that. But because of that injection na parang naglump siya, namuo siya sa left cheek ko, it made my face even weird na parang meron siyang sharp lump or whatever in my left face. And then on my breast as well, parang meron na akong mga allergic reaction. My skin gets very sensitive. Actually, up until now, I'm still recovering from it. Na parang I would easily get mga red spots, or if kakabutin ko siya, it will darken and then it will not fade away. So parang my immune response naging affected because of those substances that were injected. So that's why for a few years, I was really trying to find a doctor that can remove, if not all, at least part of what was injected. So yun na nga, I found sila Icon Clinic. I messaged their Facebook page. They have a line. I think sa Thailand, they're using Line. Most of it's like WhatsApp. It's like Messenger. I think it's very popular in Thailand. So I communicated with their staff and asked if they can do the procedure. And I said they can. So just to make it clear, the procedure I had done, it's, for the sake of this video, I'm going to call it liquid silicone removal and breast augmentation. So the doctor explained to me that she can do it all together in one setting, but she told me the risk would be bleeding, which she assured me that she had done this procedure before and they have great equipment that can accommodate and reduce bleeding during and after surgery. So she explained to me about the risk, about what's going to happen, but at the same time assured me na kaya nilang gawin yung procedure na yun. So that made me and my husband more confident to proceed. Mark is very paranoid, by the way. He doesn't want me to go through with this procedure, but I told him that I really need it. Kasi nga, I was really worried what could happen eventually if hahayaan kong, whatever was injected to stay in my body. Kasi nga yung immune response ko has been affected na. So how much did it cost me? Actually, if it's just a normal breast augmentation, depending sa brand ng implant na pipiliin nyo, dun nakabase yung price. So in my case, I had Mentor 400cc that cost me 56,000 baht. And then the removal of liquid silicone cost me 44,000 baht. Overall, the breast surgery cost me 100,000 baht. And then the removal on my face is separate. That's another 44,000 baht. So yung removal ng injections or removal ng fillers, it's 44,000. So it doesn't matter siguro kung saan part, but they quoted 44,000 for the removal. And then depending on the implants, that's when they're going to be adding it up. So overall, sa surgery alone, I spent 144,000 baht. That is the removal ng liquid silicone from my breast and then my face, and then implantation at the same time. So I had Mentor. I kept the box. So this is Mentor 400cc for both of my breasts. So I had 2 of them. And this is the smooth, round, high-profile gel breast implants. Okay, so ito na nga. And explain ni Doc what's gonna happen, ano yung mga risk. The risk, she said, number 1 is bleeding. Second would be infection after surgery. So parang yun yung mga information that she gave me before the surgery. And of course, I was excited to go through with that kasi nga, finally, matatanggal na yung in-inject sa face ko and then sa breast ko. So, of course, I didn't really feel anything during surgery, pero I woke up towards the end of the surgery when they were doing my face na kasi it hurts a lot. Kasi what they did is parang meron silang parang incision dito and then may pinasok na tube na to flush out whatever is in there. Parang magsasoften yung tissues or whatever, and then parang sinasuction siya. So it hurts a lot. But it's parang something that you will not really feel afterward. So they removed both sa face ko, even though yung affected is only the left side, but then they removed everything sa face. So yung natira ngayon, I think, is a scar tissue sa loob kasi sabi ni Doc, whatever was injected before, sa creation and reaction sa body, and the body tried to form scar tissue to cover it or whatever, like an immune response. So maybe another procedure for me to have the scar removed, yung internal, yung parang namuong scar tissue inside. So who knows? But for now, I'm happy with the result actually. Even though yung face ko talaga is not symmetrical, but then I'm okay that it's like that rather than yung may lump na parang ang weird actually. So I was carrying that for a very long time since 20. Na-notice ko yung lump, I think, was around after 3 years after ng injection. So that was around 2013, 2014. So imagine nung year na ngayon, 2024. Well, let's say 2023, only then that the injection was removed. Yung sa breast ko naman, actually, I was really paranoid and really scared kasi the doctor had to open the wound again. So parang, for me, I had the surgery done twice in 2 weeks. Because what happened is that, so for a normal breast augmentation, you would just need 2 weeks para maghilap yung wound and then for them to remove the stitches if merong natira. Kasi I think they're using something na magdi-dissolve. So 2 weeks lang sana. But in my case, I ended up staying in Bangkok for almost a month kasi nga the doctor or my surgeon needs to redo, not really the implants, but she opened my incision up again to fix something. Kasi ito yung nangyari. When I was healing, after the surgery, I'm really swollen. Sa face ko is okay because it was normal, di ba? Kasi magsuswell naman talaga. Whatever procedure done, normal yung swelling and all. So, my breast was also swollen. To avoid bleeding, meron silang nilagay na tube sa breast ko. That was very uncomfortable. So, that would help with the bleeding, but it will suck out any blood or anything na nasa breast, after the surgery. So I was supposed to kept it for 3 days, but then it was extended up to 5 days. But on the 5th day, they really need to remove it. So parang meron siyang tube para magdi-drain yung blood na natira so that hindi ako ma-infection. There is no, hindi mamumuo yung dugo or whatever. So I had that. While I had that drainage, yung drain sa breast ko, Mark was doing the dressing, yung wound dressing, which is every day, twice a day nung bago, and then once nung second week ata. He was cleaning it, and then parang nag-leak siya. So, parang yung sa wound, may nag-leak. So, I was, of course, really paranoid. Bakit may lumalabas na something sa wound? So, I went back to the doctor. Ito po yung nangyari because my doctor was not there. The doctor who did my surgery was not there. She was assigned to another hospital doing another surgery. So, ibang doctor yun ang dun. And then he was telling me na parang it's like, oh, it's an infection. And I was really pissed kasi I don't blame him, but he should have at least pacified me na parang he's not even sure because he was not really sure if it's infection or not. But he told me that based on his experience, it is an infection now and they might remove the implants and then have it healed. So parang sabi ko, all of my efforts, all of the suffering and pain, and then after all, kukunin lang naman again yung implant and then I have to wait for a few months. But then, anyway, I was so paranoid. It was not a good place for me at that time. But then, sabi ng surgeon ko is just to take antibiotics. So they give me a higher dose of antibiotics, of course, other than the normal ones. Usually, it was just about 2 weeks lang ata yung antibiotic. But for me, it lasted for, I don't know, almost a month. Kasi the wound was not closing. So, ito na nga. So, I'm supposed to have the stitch removed on the 2nd week. But then when I came back on the 2nd week, parang let's say on the 14th day, when the doctor checked, naglilik pa din yung wound. Parang it's not healing, in other words. So, my surgeon said, upon examining it, she said na hindi naman siya infection. But I was so paranoid kasi I thought it's infection. That's the worst thing to happen if you have breast augmentation. And that's one of the risks, actually. So I was so paranoid, baka infection, it's not healing. The right breast is okay, but the left was not. Parang ito yung pinaka-swollen, ito yung hindi talaga siya nag-heal. So I was so paranoid at that time. Pero the doctor again and the people there were so reassuring, other than that other doctor na lalaki that, that really gave me anxiety. So after 2 weeks, yun yung follow-up check-up. And then, yun na nga, the wound was not healing. Parang the left breast was still swollen. Yung wound hindi nagko-close. So the doctor said na she wanted me to stay. If it's just a normal procedure, supposedly 2 weeks lang yung stay. But then, kasi nga mayroong complications, just to make sure that there is no infection, she asked me to stay for another week. So we extended our stay sa Bangkok for another week. For her to really monitor my situation. Yung dressing ng wound is every day. I always go to their clinic. And then yung IV, yung injection as well na antibiotic. Because the doctor said I needed stronger antibiotics. So strong and fast. I think the best way to deliver that is through IV. So I was there for another 1 week doing that. So, but then upon on the third, towards the end of the 3rd week, parang a few days na lang, and then Mark and I is supposed to return na to Malaysia. she examined my wound and it was still not healing. Parang the wound, parang nag-leak pa rin siya. Even though medyo nag-dry, but it was not healing well. It's not healing properly. It's not the normal parang wound after 3 weeks. So what she did, actually, parang sabi niya that's her last resort other than redoing the entire procedure, meaning tatanggalin yung implant and then ipapahil muna and all. So what she suggested is for me to go back to the operating table. She's gonna open the incision back and see what's really happening, why it's not closing. Kasi nga hindi naman siya infection according to her, but she wanna make sure kasi nga baka infection lang sa loob and it's not manifesting outside. So yun na nga, like 3 or 4 days before our flight home, I went back to the clinic and then she put me again to sleep for the second time. So parang for me, in a span of a month, I had 2 surgeries. So she opened the incision again. And according to her, after the surgery, she explained to me what happened. She explained to us what happened. So yung mga in-inject nga daw na liquid substance was preventing my wound from healing. So parang it was just underneath. Like, parang ito yung wound, for example, right? Yung oil or yung substance na in-inject, which is like, parang nandyan lang siya sa sa top. Parang nandyan siya sa incision. So this incision is not healing kasi nga merong liquid substance doon na parang irritating the wound, kaya hindi siya nagko-close. So what she did was, hindi niya inopen ulit yung implant, but rather, yung sa may incision mismo, she parang kinuha daw, parang nag-suction siya to remove the remaining oils. Oil, that was really her word. Oil doon sa both of my breasts. Kasi parang namuo yung mga oils. And she told me yung oil na yun daw is, yun pa yung mga in-inject before because she wasn't able to remove everything. Kasi parang yung ginawa niya is nag-cut siya ng mga tissue kasi it's very hard to remove this injection. Yung mga pinang i-inject before, parang namuumuo siya and then the tissue was covering it, yung scar tissue and all that. So, yung ginawa niya is cut the tissue. So, parang like, if ito yung breast, ito yung parang breast tissue, she cut everything and then removed that. Pero kasi nga, may mga natirang few na injections na mga in-inject din doon before, parang nag-melt, parang namuo siya doon sa baba. So after removing all of those oil or yung mga in-inject, what she did, instead of parang nade-dissolve na suture or yung stitch na nade-dissolve, she used the one that is stronger. So I forgot the kind of stitch that she used, but that's the one na parang strong na hindi siya nade-dissolve. So that's what she did. She stitched me up. So she was just worried. She just told me na yung yung outcome nun is I might have like a bigger scar rather than yung scar na line lang. Sabi ko, I'm okay with that rather than going through with another surgery. So anyway, after nung surgery, yung wound is hindi na siya basa. It was not parang it was already healing well kahit like a third day pa lang ata or second or third day after that second surgery, parang yung wound is starting to close na. So it was dry, hindi siya basa. So and then lumipad na kami pabalik ng Malaysia and I had suture removed from sa another clinic kasi nga I didn't have time to go back to Thailand to the doctor again to have it removed. So from the day of my surgery, supposedly 14 days yun to remove the stitch. That's around 2 weeks, right? So, but on the end of the second week, parang third week ko, she did another surgery. So I had to wait another 14 days para ma-remove yung stitch. So overall, yung recovery ko for the breast and everything took me at least a month or so because of, sabi ko nga, it's not like a normal like procedure. So yun na nga, I was very paranoid kasi may mga leakage. And then upon checking, sabi daw pag may mga leakage daw, that's a sign of infection. Hindi nag-heal ang wound. In a normal breast augmentation procedure, if that's happening, it might be infection. But in my case, Because meron mga in-inject nga na parang oil, yun yung nag-prevent ng healing ko. So if you're gonna experience it, you might think na the wound is infected, pero it could be because yun nga, yung mga in-inject na substance is preventing you from healing, and it was not really infection at all. That time, parang wala akong reference kasi there were no videos or no other information I can find sa internet na may ganitong situation na pinaremove yung liquid silicone or whatever substance it was. So I was so paranoid kasi nga I thought I have to redo everything, after all the suffering again, uulitin na naman yung surgery and stuff. But thank God it was not infection. It was just, again, yung injection nga that was still on my breast. So I was really happy that I chose silicone to do this procedure kasi the doctor most especially, kahit na I went back to Malaysia na after the surgery, yung assistant niya ng doctor, she was still messaging me and I'm constantly updating them kung ano na yung nangyayari sa akin. So, she even told me that if I had time to go back to the clinic after 6 months or after a year, and if I'm not satisfied, she will just redo the surgery again. But I think so far I'm okay. I'm healing well. Even though there are some things like aesthetically, I'm not really 100% like okay with the outcome, especially sa wound, sa scar. But that's not really a big deal kasi nga, I'd rather have this than to go through worst, which is tatanggalin yung implants and everything, complications and stuff. So I don't want to have to go through with that again. Tapos sa face ko naman, she said that she can redo it if in case I'm not satisfied. But so far, for now, I'm okay with the outcome. And please don't mind yung light ko sa side na to. Nawala ng battery, so it's kind of dark. So I hope this video is still okay. Anyway, so that is my experience with my breast augmentation or revision surgery. So natanggal na yung liquid silicone sa breast ko and then sa face ko then. Again, it was not really liquid silicone at all. She wasn't even sure what it was. So if you are someone had some injections that you want to remove, it is possible. It's gonna be costly kasi mas mahal pa yung revision, honestly, rather than yung normal na procedure. So, but then what? Here we are. I have made my decisions. I have made those decisions when I was young. I don't have any regrets at all, but because I'm mature enough and capable enough to make some changes, so yun na nga, that's why I sought to have this surgery done, and so far, I'm really happy with it. If you have any questions or anything na hindi ko na mention sa video na to that you wanted to know, just leave your comment below or you can check out our page. It's Mark and Kim. I put the link below. So you can ask me or you can ask below as a comment. I'll try my best to reply to you. So I hope I was not confusing. I was not scaring anyone sa video. I'm just trying to share my story in the best way I know how. And even me, medyo hindi ko alam kung where to start. I'm normally a good storyteller, but this is kind of like an experience that I'm not really, really happy to remember going through. I have a few surgeries done, but this one was the most scary for me. Not really traumatic, but it gave me a lot of anxiety per se. Anyway, I think this is the end of the video. If I haven't mentioned, I had Mentor 400cc. It's high profile implant and it's under the muscle. And I think I've covered everything so far. And I think that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you find this helpful, please give it a like. Again, thank you. Have a nice day.